What's up, Sky Squad? It's your boy DJ Richie Skye back in the good building. And y'all know we got to talk about that Real Housewives of Atlanta from last night. We're talking about the reunion for season 13, part 2. We doing the recaperization on this good episode. And what I want to tell y'all is somebody is lying. There's somebody lying, okay? And I want to know who y'all think it is. In the chatterization, well, we'll get to that in a second, but it's between Porsha, Marlo, and Drew. Somebody lying, and we're gonna break it all down today, okay? Before we dive into that, let me know in that good chatterization. Y'all know, drop that location down in that good chatterization so I can highlight it up on the screen so I can see Atlanta up in this thing, okay? Who else? Canada's up in the building. Rockwall, Texas. Salisbury, North Carolina. Queensland, Australia. Toronto is in the building. Bunkie, Louisiana. Virginia. Durham, North Carolina. South Haven, Mississippi. Be more up in this building. Hey, Bowie from down the street. Cleveland, Ohio. Prattville, Alabama. Trinidad in the building. Jacksonville, Los Angeles, London, Namibia, Philly. Who else? Arlington, Texas. I see y'all. Houston up in this good building. All right, we got the Bronx. We got Dallas. Love you on Fox 5. Thank you very much. Namibia. Okay, come on now. Utah up in the place to be. Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Let's get this thing jumping. Let's get it rolling, okay? So listen, we're talking about the reunion part 2. Before we get into who lying and who not, okay? Because y'all know that's really the topic du jour, right? Somebody lying, and I want to know who it is. Because Marlo trying to tell us why she mad at Porsha, and to me, it's not adding up. Drew trying to tell us that she ain't make out with Latoya, but something ain't adding up with us, okay? And Porsha trying to tell us she don't know why Marlo mad at her, okay? But I don't know if that's adding up quite either. So we're going to get all up into who lying and who not lying, okay? Okay, we just going to make our observations, what we think. We're going to give our opinion about it, and we're going to talk about what happened last night. Now, before we get into that, make sure you guys give me your radarization of the episode. I want to know what you're going to rate it on a scale of 1 to 10, okay? What you going to rate this episode on a scale of 1 to 10? Okay, and for me, I'm going to give it the 8.595, okay? I'm giving it an 8.595. Now, we got some super chats up in this good building, so I do want to acknowledge those real quick. Catherine Forehand, NYC in the place to be. Love you, DJ Richie Skye. Catherine Forehand, thank you so much for this super chat, and we want to send love and light right back your way, boo. Sending you all the love, okay? NYC in the place to be. Who else we got up in here? Pinky Carr. Love the new intro. Yes, it gets me to jamming. I mean, it's the same music, but you know, we got a little different flow with it. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to y'all for loving that. I appreciate you. Now, y'all giving this I saw a 3 up in here. Okay. 5. Hey, we got another super chat in the building from KS Garnett. I will no longer watch Real Housewives of Atlanta if they bring Drew back. She is utterly disgusting to watch from both a visual and spiritual view. You can see the lies roll off her split tongue. No moral character. Yuck. Woo! Thank you so much, KS Garnett, for that super chat. You letting us know right off the rip how you feeling right now. Woo! Okay. Who else we got up in here? We got some 7s. Who else we got up in here? We got a 5 up in the place to be. We got some 8s, 5.5. Listen, let me tell you why I am giving it what I'm giving it, right? So it was a mildly entertaining episode. I feel like, it was an episode that was very Kenya heavy. Kenya got a lot of her points across. I felt like Porsha spent much of her time sort of playing defense, but also kind of sitting pretty. You know what I'm saying? I felt like Marlo came in on fire, okay? For whatever reason. I ain't really yet figured out myself. But again, we're going to break it down, okay? We had Drew doing some I don't know what she's doing, and she's not looking too good in front of the folks. You know what I'm saying? Because she's kind of giving me some old school Phaedra Parks vibes with the things that I feel like she's trying to hide. And I just got to say that because, you know, Phaedra didn't know, allegedly, when her baby was due back in season, 3 was it? And so now we got Drew, who kind of sits on her throne of height and mightiness, not knowing whether or not she kissed that good Latoya, or really kind of denying it when the other ladies are saying, no, boo, you did kiss her, okay? You did. And then the question of the night is that cheating? Okay, is that cheating? We're gonna discuss it. We're gonna discuss it all together. California Cutie, yes, I saw it. I was trying to wait to do this after Kandi speak on it, but as I was about to go live, I saw she was releasing her speak on it when I had been waiting in bed all morning to see if she was going to release it or not. So Kandi, we're gonna have to talk about your speak on it tomorrow. Okay, we're gonna have to talk about it tomorrow. All right. So anyway. Shout out to California Cutie for letting us know that it's out right now. So you guys go watch that after you get off this live, okay? Now let's get down to it, okay? And I do have to say the reason I ranked it so high, and because I always look for good quotable moments. You know what I'm saying? A memorable moment or a memorable line that we're gonna get from the season or from the episode. And let me tell you something. This was the most memorable line for me. It was the line of the night. Now, whether or not you are a Porsha fan, I am sure you can all agree that when you got Marlo and Porsha going at it later on in the night, okay, we had Marlo talking about how nasty Porsha was acting towards her, but yet sitting over there, you know, acting like she got sitting over there with a crown on and whatnot. And so Porsha responds back to her, and she's like, I'm not even wearing it, but I'm glad you still see it. Now, I got to tell you, to me, it was a low-key line, but I loved it. I loved every second of it because it rolled off her tongue so effortlessly, and she kind of smiled and smirked when she did it. And what I liked about it is, for as hard as Marlo was going at her, Porsha really sat there kind of almost unbothered by it. It was almost as if she was wearing a crown on her head last night. So I definitely have to give props to her for that. Also, props to Marlo and Porsha for kind of recreating that iconic moment between, you know, Nene and Sheree, the fix that body, fix that face. When Marlo told her that she didn't have her old face no more, and Porsha said, you don't have your old body no more. I was like, okay, y'all giving me Sheree and Nene vibes in this moment. And I don't know if anybody else picked up on that. Catherine Forehand, thank you so much for the super chat. Says, I'm so happy that you watch because I don't. Thank you for keeping me informed. Yes, Catherine, I'm here for it. I am here for it. Thank you so much. So that moment right there really resonated with me. I was like, okay, that was a line. And I feel like we'll remember that, you know, from in seasons to come. Because we always would, you know, back in the day, we always left with those one-liners that, that kind of go down in history and are kind of iconic. And I think that this is going to go down in history as one of those lines. Okay. So we'll get more into Porsha and Marlo in just a second. So let's go ahead and start this reunion off. We leave off between Drew and Latoya last time, and we pick right back up with them on this episode as well. So we go through their entire beef throughout the season, except for the beef between Drew and Latoya about Prophet Lot. Now, notice that was left out. I am assuming because they wanted to save that for part 3 of the reunion, okay? And we did see the preview so that we know that that's coming up at some point. RHOA, honestly, I don't even want to talk about it no more because it don't make no sense to me, but whatever. Anyway, so Andy wants to know, where did it start? He reads a question about Latoya constantly provoking Drew. And Latoya said it was really when Drew said that Latoya doesn't care about husbands that she felt like the beef really picked off, okay? Now, Andy then says that, no, Drew says that she doesn't understand why they have beef and why they just started coming after her after she stepped up on the scene with the gangster lean in her wig. She says that they actually have so much in common. They have 3 kids in common. So Andy looks over and he's like, I didn't know you had 3 kids. And here is the problem, okay? Here is our first problem of the night to me, okay? And let me tell you why I have a problem with this. I have a problem with this because I feel as though, the fact is that from what I understand, Andy reviews the episodes of the shows, right? Now, if Andy's getting the episodes from production, Andy does not know after a season filled with Latoya shenanigans that Latoya actually has 3 kids. Here is the fault of production, because at the end of the day, had they actually dived into Latoya's background and what's going on in her life and in her personal life, Andy would have had the knowledge that he needed to know in that moment they do have a lot in common. That they, and all those scenes that Drew talked about with her cradling and cuddling up on Latoya, outside of the kiss, that is, we would have been able to see more of those moments had she just been made a full-time cast member in the first place. They need to get rid of these antiquated rules about being able to show, the families and the children. If you don't have to show Kenya's family, then you don't have to show Latoya's. Bottom line, you knew going into the season you couldn't film precious little baby Brooklyn. You knew you wouldn't be able to show text messages from Mark. You knew Mark wouldn't be able to come up on the show. So all that you can get from Kenya is basically Kenya. So at that point, why can't you just do the same for Latoya? To be really, actually, to take it a step further, the ladies on New York, you barely see their kids at all. Half of them are single, okay, at the end of the day, and they still manage to make for a great show. If you're going to use so much of Latoya, at least give us a lot of context for why she might be acting the way she acted. Sorry. Anyway, to me, that was an issue, okay? So then Cynthia says that the whole wig situation was fun and petty, talking about Latoya and Kenya coming after, Drew's wig, okay? Because she says they all had bad wig moments, okay? So then Kenya jumps in to say that she and Cynthia actually talked to Latoya and talked her out of giving Drew a new wig. But then Kenya pivots and she decides to take it a step in another direction. And she says that basically, Drew was coming for her hair care line because she posted a photo of Kenya with a track of weave, okay, in the center of her head. And we had talked about that previously, okay? Now, my thing was this, okay? I was like, okay, Kenya, but you talked about her wig. So if you can talk, and this was the same thing that happened with Tanya. If somebody comes for you, Kenya, if you come for somebody else, Kenya, they can come for you. And you cannot control the direction or the target that the dart lands on. So if you don't want people to come for you like that, then you have to stop coming for them. Because you participated in that whole conversation about Drew's wig. So at the end of the day, you were a part of that conversation, okay? You were a part of that. You were laughing about it and making fun of it, and you called her a stray. So at some point, is she not allowed to come back at you? You gotta be able to dish it in the same way. You gotta be able to take it in the same way that you dishing it out. But that's just my thought about that whole situation. Y'all let me know y'all's, okay? And I felt like she did that the other season with Tanya too. Tanya talked up. I mean, here's the thing. Kenya, they know what your sensitive spot is, okay? Just like you know what Tanya's sensitive spot is. For Kenya, y'all know that Tanya's sensitive spot is going to be her man, okay? And so for that reason, every season that she was on there, her relationship was targeted. Now, just the same, Kenya, they know that your soft spot and your sensitive spot is your hair care line and your hair, okay? And the naturalness of your hair. So obviously they're gonna come for that. And I would argue that it is less severe for someone to come after your hair, okay, than it is for you to come after their relationship. That's just my thought on the subject. And I would also wager to say that at any point in time, since Kenya has already told us that she might wear pieces, and as any woman is allowed to do, Just because you have a hair care line don't mean that you can't wear no piece, no wig, no protective style, no nothing. It don't mean nothing like that. And if I was Kenya, I would use that as a marketing tool, and I would start adding weaves and wigs to my hair care line, okay? Get you a piece and keep your edges under control too. That's what I would do, Kenya. Turn those lemons into lemonade, okay? Whew. All right. We got a super chat from Lala7181 who says, Mother Moore, does your back hurt because you reach and stretch out, Mother, not just so far that you become the pot calling the kettle? Woo! Woo! Okay, thank you for that super chat. Now, next topic, Latoya and Kenya's girl crush, all right? Now, Kenya says she is no longer crushing on Latoya because she's disappointed because Latoya didn't have her back when the rest of the ladies was coming at her so hardcore in the Charleston about her hypocritical behavior, okay? Now, in my mind, why not be mad at Cynthia and Kandi? These are the two of the girlfriends that you have had the longest, okay? And at the end of the day, when they showed the flashback, they showed both Cynthia and Kandi going at Kenya along with the rest of the ladies. It's not Latoya's responsibility to step in on that situation. It's really your friends are doing that to you. It's not just the girls that don't like you. It's also your girlfriends. They having a moment where they're telling you about yourself, and you can't take it. Okay. You can't take it. So to me, thank you so much for that super chat, Catherine. Forehand, preach. Come on now. I just feel like, Kenya, you got to be able to, if you can dish it, but you got to be able to take it too. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like it was more to the reason why she was upset with Latoya outside of just that. I feel like it was she saw Latoya getting down with Porsha, and she felt like, no, that's not cool with me. I'm not here for that. And so I felt like she decided that she was going to punish Latoya. That's what I feel like, to be quite honest with you. Pamela Jackson says, I missed the shots fired special effects. I'm going to find a way to bring them back, Pamela. I will. Thank you for that super chat. Now, let me get back to it, okay? Now, Andy discussed Drew's appearance on Watch What Happens Live, where she insinuates that Kenya and Latoya had maybe been intimate or something, or at least that was what I took from that appearance, okay? Now, this leads to Latoya telling Drew that she cheated on Ralph with her by kissing her. And Drew says, no, she didn't. But Kandi says, yes, you did, okay? Kandi says Porsha saw it as well, all right? Now, here we go. Drew, I feel like you're lying. I feel like you're lying because you don't want to be in trouble with your man, okay? And Porsha is keeping mums on it because I feel like Porsha knows that Drew is keeping her secrets as well. So they are adhering to the girl code, okay? Now, I don't really fault Porsha for sticking by her girlfriend, okay? Because in real life, that's what I would do too, right? But for the sake of girl, you're lying, we're gonna have to call it out. Kenya says she saw it. Kandi says she did it. Latoya says she did it. And so, to be quite honest with you, at this point in time, I am inclined to believe it. Now, if this happened with Drew and someone else who was not a part of this show, I really wouldn't care. But the fact that we got to talk about it is because Latoya, who was also a party to the kisserization, is the one who is actually also bringing it up as well. So in this situation, I just got to say, in the case of who is lying and who ain't, I believe that there is some fibberization, okay, going on in this situation. All right. Now, I also believe that for Drew, she would feel like she might be in a little bit of trouble if she does that, and it would take her down off of her high moral ground that she continues to stand on. Okay. Now, again, I like Drew for this show. I just feel like she gets herself into some situations that she don't necessarily have to be in. And this is one of those situations. What she should do is she should own up to it, okay? Now, I got another question in my head is, number one, is Drew and Latoya kissing? Is that considered cheating? Give me a yes or give me a no in the chat. Drew and Latoya kissing, is that cheating? Okay. We got a super chat from Lala Chanel who says the lies are making Drew problematic. Thank you so much for that super chat, boo. We got another one in the place from Shay who says, I finally made it to a live. I think they all eat pum pum, but Marlo. Poom poom. Okay. Thank you for that super chat. So I see a couple of people say yes, it is cheating. It depends. Yes. There were no secrets among this group of women. Whew. Okay. Yes. No. So I think that, for me, it's each couple has to define what cheating is. On the surface, I feel like with the way that Drew is kind of moving, it seems like it would be considered cheating in their relationship, even though I felt like she said it wouldn't be cheating if it was with another woman. So I don't really know. All I know is, we got another super chat it's not a super chat. I'm sorry. It is a good point from Latara who says, I thought Ralph was cool with that from what he mentioned on Kandi Speak On It with Todd and Don Juan. Thank you, Latara, for this message. And I think we need to go back and revisit that Speak On It to see what Ralph had to say about it. But I don't really, it just, I don't know. So I definitely feel like in my mind, okay, my opinion, I feel like she was lying and I felt like Porsha was lying for her. Okay. That's just my opinion. Okay. I'm not saying it's fact, but that's my opinion. And Shay D with the super chat says it's definitely cheating. Thank you so much for that super chat. Now we have Andy asking, why did Latoya share Kenya's personal information with the rest of the ladies? Latoya says the relationship with Kenya and the rest of the ladies is bipolar. Kenya calls BS on her and says that Porsha has been grooming Drew to be against her. Now, for me, I felt like this was a bit of a reach on Kenya's behalf, mostly because it was Drew and Porsha who actually spoke out in defense of Kenya against Latoya sharing her personal information like that. And I also don't think that, Drew would have had as much of an issue with Kenya had they not been laughing about her and calling her a stray in the beginning. So I don't think it was necessarily that she was being groomed by Porsha, because quite frankly, it seemed as though Porsha was uninterested in Kenya for most of the season, to be very honest with you. So I don't know why she would have said that, right? So then we get Latoya saying, well, Kandi, you brought it up to Don Juan on camera, and Kandi says, well, that wasn't the best idea for me to do, and that wasn't the best idea for you to do as well, okay? So then Andy says, let's bring out Marlo and Shamia, okay? So there's a shot of Porsha yawning that was just cracking me up as Marlo came out and debuted her outfit, all right? Marlo shades Shamia as looking like the girl who was jumping and coming to America, okay? And then Shamia gets her back and says that Marlo looks like she's fresh out of lipo. So Andy asks, well, when was the lipo? And Marlo says it was after the trip. Can't you tell? And Andy's looking like, okay. We got another super chat in the building. I thought maybe I missed it. I think I missed it. If I missed it, please, Lord, forgive me. Please forgive me, y'all. Please forgive me. Okay. So the next topic is Kenya is planning the girls' trip. They go through the entire situation with the private jet, bringing the baby, the crab cake, Kenya dipping out on the ladies early, and Kenya's double standards to Drew, and then the rest of the ladies confronting her at dinner. With the crab cakes, she said that she was just being selfish and she wasn't thinking about the other ladies. Okay, that was nice. Then we get to why didn't Kenya leave Brooklyn with a sitter? Kenya said if they wanted to bring their children, then their children could be there. Kandi, you arranged for an entire dick in a box. Okay, so if you wanted your child to be there, then you could have made it happen better than I made it happen. Okay, so in my mind, I was like, Kandi, you're not going to address this? I would have thought, now, Kenya was correct on that, but I would have thought that Kandi would have had a lot more to say about it. And she kind of did, but then Kenya kind of interrupted her. Andy interrupted her. And it really took Porsha to explain that basically they felt like it had been a production issue. And they felt like in the past when she had done it, Kenya was going against the grain, not understanding that for the rest of them, that production had become a lot more lenient to them bringing the kids. Okay. But I was still shocked, like, Kandi, Kenya literally just kind of cleared her in that moment, to be very honest. And so then we get Andy with the question from Patty in Secaucus, okay, who says, why was Kandi so upset about Kenya, making those comments about bringing her baby when Riley has complained about Kandi doing the same thing and working too much? Now, Kandi says that Riley always says that she works, but she really had to tell Andy to watch her tone. Now, this is what I think happened. I honestly do. I feel like Kandi got upset by that question. Okay, she didn't like that question. And I understand it. I understand why she didn't like that question. But she didn't like that question. And then when she told Andy, watch your tone, okay, she had to think about it for a second. No, I'm just playing. Okay, she had to. You can't tell your boss watch your tone. Okay, you really can't say that. So she had to, whoa, let me take it back. Oh, I ain't mean it like that. Gotcha, got him. But I do feel like she felt a certain type of way about it or whatever. And I kind of feel like, in my mind, I just felt like she was kind of getting a little punked on this episode. But that was just me. Y'all let me know what y'all think. I love me some Kandi, but I also feel like I got why she was annoyed with that question. But I also felt like she was annoyed with Andy, but I also got why she pulled it on back, okay? Because you can't talk to the boss man any kind of way. But she was definitely like, watch your tone, bro. Oops, I said it to my boss. That's what it came across to me like on the screen, okay? So that was a real interesting moment right there. So then we get to why Kenya took a private jet. She says there was an issue with Brooklyn on the bus, and I guess maybe with Brooklyn being on the bus and the rest of the ladies, I'm sure they might have wanted to drink and stuff like that. So what she ended up doing was instead of getting another Sprinter, she decided that she might as well pay that same money and get a private jet. Okay. So then we get to why did Drew spill the beans on Kenya about the private jet when Drew brought up the private jet, or asked how Kenya was getting to Charleston in front of the rest of the ladies after Kenya had already told her not to say nothing. Okay. Drew says, well, I'm just holding you accountable. Now, y'all, these are some famous last words. Y'all got to watch it when someone on these shows say, I'm holding everybody else accountable, because as soon as you say that, you put yourself in a position to be also held accountable for things too, as we're currently seeing as well. Okay. Now, this devolves into a subject of body shaming. Okay. Because Kenya's like, well, I called you. I was helpful to you. I don't understand why you were treating me like that. Even for Cynthia's, bridal thing or whatever the dinner they was having for her, she was like, and you were having your body issues. And then Drew goes into, her condition and whatnot. And I'm like, oh gosh, where are we going with this? Back to the body issues. It was a mess right here. So Kenya ends up calling Drew broke. Okay. Now Drew chimes in with a comment about broke bees don't get $1 million houses. Okay. Now I'm sure Kenya's house is probably about the same or more. And I'm sure she probably got it herself. So I don't really know about that part about it, Drew. But I also feel like, Kenya doubles down on Drew being broke. And then Drew goes in about the box office for Step Up. Okay, now if I'm correct, Step Up came out in 2006. Why are we talking about a movie that happened almost 20 years ago? Okay, We cannot talk about it unless that box office is continuously bringing in you residuals of $20,000 to $50,000 per month. Girl, why are we talking about this movie? Okay, we got to talk about what you're doing now. Okay, not then, now. I could talk about something I did in 1980, okay, or whenever. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, it's about what are you doing now? What are you doing now, sweetheart? What are you doing now? Okay. Now again, I don't know. She could be making all types of residual. You know, you just never know. Okay, this could have been a smart play for her, and she's just making all kind buku loads of money. But what I'm saying is, you know, I mean, I don't know. But it was 2006. I just felt like, girl, you reached way back in the vault for that one. But then the other side of this, because you know, I got to play the advocate. Kenya, I kind of sort of feel like you are basically Drew, only more years in the game. Okay, let me say why. Because I believe when Kenya had came up into this whole thing, I believe that they were in similar states. Okay, when Kenya first came on the scene. Now I definitely know Kenya was doing her acting thing. I know she was pop locking and dropping it all up and through Hollywood, doing the acting gigs. Right, I understand that. But what I'm saying is, essentially, y'all both on the same platform. Kenya, you just been here longer. Y'all come from the same world acting. So to me, you can't really say this about Drew calling her broke when she basically is doing the exact same thing that you did when you came onto this show. Okay. The only difference is, again, you got more time in the game. That's it. That's it. Bottom line. Okay, so this is really a pot me kettle type of argument, okay, with Kenya having more years and definitely probably making more income from the show. But at the end of the day, y'all both on the same show. And we're talking, and the reason I say that is because we're talking about acting, okay? Two actresses coming onto a Housewives show. That's what y'all are, okay? Anyway, so then I'm wondering, why did they bring out Marlo and Shamia so early? We ain't even got to them yet. But they've been out here this whole time just sitting there, just sitting on the stage. Kandi said it was cold on that stage, so I know Marlo was cold because she didn't have a bit of nothing, okay? I mean, the more I look at it, now her body was looking good now. I ain't gonna even lie. Now, Marlo's body, she looked good. But in my mind, I'm thinking to myself, y'all got to have been cold. Y'all got to have been cold. Anyway, we finally get to Cynthia's wedding. Andy calls it the most controversial wedding of 2020 with 250 people. We learned that Mike will be living full-time in Atlanta, with starting a new job. Andy starts reading the mean tweets. Cynthia says she's in a different place, so the wedding this time was going to be different from her last one, meaning she got more money, okay? And no one got sick to her knowledge from the pandemic. Now, Andy says who would have had the same wedding date if they were in that same position? And Kandi is the one that says if she was stuck on that date, she would. And I feel like Kandi would probably do that because, you know, Kandi, I feel like just don't give a rat's booty about what nobody think, okay? And I don't mean that in a bad way. I just mean I think that's just what it is. We learned that one of Mike, now this was interesting right here. We learned that one of Mike's daughters decided not to come to the wedding and walk him down the aisle. And Cynthia does not know, okay, allegedly doesn't know why. She says that she's still strained with her father and she's agreed to not bring him up again on camera, but she just did. Okay. And she has still not done a post-nuptial agreement. My thing was this. Why didn't the daughter want to walk him down the aisle? What had happened? Y'all done left out a good piece of information, and now we need to figure out, well, what went wrong? Okay, was she mad about the date? You know, did she not agree with the wedding? Has something happened? What happened behind the scenes? That's what I want to know, okay? We could spend a little more time talking about that and a little less time talking about Drew's wigs. We got another Captain Ford in the building says, yes, I hear you enjoy lunch with your husband. I appreciate him as well. And I want to thank him. Thank you so much, Captain Forehand, for the love. Amen. Yes, God. Yes, God. Rain it on down on us. All right. Anyway, Porsha and Kandi is the next subject of conversation. Now, they revisit the history. We're starting from the dungeon fiasco reunion, okay? We get the whole dungeon mess. We go down the long and windy road of their friendship. And then we get the deleted scene of Kandi following Porsha on social media again, because it wasn't in the episode. It was just online previously, okay? And we learned that they're still following each other. Kenya says that they're probably on mute, though. That's really the cordial way to do things. If you don't like a person, stop doing this unfollow, follow, because you know you're probably going to follow them back again at some point in time. You're just mad right now. So go ahead and just mute them. That's the smart way to do it. That's the way we adults do it, okay? When we get tired of hearing you say something and we don't really like what you're posting, we just mute you. That's it. End of story, okay? Andy asks, is everyone else surprised to see that they're so close? Marlo is now wondering why Porsha got so close to Kandi after the dungeon. Marlo says, it's like Kandi got some dirt on Porsha or something. And I'm just rolling my eyes here because I'm like, Marlo, I just feel like you are reaching and reaching and reaching and reaching for something. And I don't know what it is. But I feel like you're reaching, and it's just annoying at this point, and I don't necessarily know why, okay? Lala Chanel with the super chat says if they can mention Kenya's Waiting to Excel cameo, Drew can mention Step Up. Somebody says I would love to see your mute list. I don't mute many people, but I'm saying if I had to, I would, you know. So you can see that Porsha is basically over Marlo at this point. But what does Kenya think is what Andy wants to know. And I felt like in this moment, I did like Kenya's response to this question. She says, you just keep your eyes open. And she does. I felt like the answer she gave about Kandi, you know, and what type of person she feels like Kandi is. And with Kandi just learning to trust and go on that journey, I liked that statement. And this was one of those moments where I was like, this is the Kenya that I prefer to me. But that's just me. And so then Kandi says she feels like they were just having more fun together this year. Porsha acknowledges that if they have issues that they may have them via text, then they just leave it there. And I was like, ooh, not all the time, girl, because just a couple of weeks ago, didn't stay on the text message. Anyway, we get to discussing the dungeon party and Bolo. Marlo, to me, is over the top excited about this. Now, Andy asks what his dungeon name would be, and Kandi tells him it would be Silver Bullet. We learned that Kandi is pulling together a virtual dungeon tour. Andy asks why Kenya was so uninhibited and during the dungeon party. And so, you know, Porsha gets to talking about how much she enjoyed, you know, Kenya more as chocolate. But Kenya really can't let her guard down enough with Porsha to even admit that she was having a good time with her. And I wish that she would, because it kind of begins to feel like a little like an act that she doesn't like Porsha, because clearly they were able to have fun together. So I don't understand that. But it is what it is. So then Andy is acknowledging how much fun everybody was having. So Marlo has to jump right on in and say she can't take it no more. She goes in about why she is so upset with Porsha. She's going off about how close they were, how much time they spent together, how they went shopping together, had Hennessy together, how they went and, did all types of fun, girly things together and with each other. And with that, Marlo is trying her hardest to convince us that for those reasons, she deserves to know who Porsha may or may not have had in her boudoir at the time of the Bolo incident. Okay, that is what she wants us to know. Meanwhile, Shamia is off to the side telling Marlo to pull herself up, okay? I don't know if y'all caught that, but I was sitting there. Shamia was like having me in stitches with her faces. You know, she was definitely on the Porsha, side of things, okay? Because she was in her own way going at Marlo. But Marlo couldn't be bothered with Shamia because she had her sights set on Porsha, okay? But it felt like to me, while Marlo had her sights set on Porsha, Porsha couldn't necessarily even be bothered with the whole situation. And she downplays the fact that there was an issue between her and Marlo. Now, do I believe that when Porsha says that there wasn't an issue with Marlo? No, I don't believe her. What I do believe is this. I believe that she felt like Marlo, after becoming friends with Kenya and then questioning her at the table about the Bolo incident while they were in Charleston, I believe at that moment, Porsha said something clicked in her mind, and she said that I don't trust this girl, and I'm gonna step back from her moving forward. And so then Marlo called her out on it because Marlo felt like she had stepped back from the relationship because of what she had been asking. And I felt like Marlo knew what she was doing when she was calling Porsha out about it on camera, okay? And so then I think that Marlo continued to try to press the issue with Porsha, trying to get Porsha to tell her exactly what was going on. Now, Marlo's issue is allegedly that she feels like Porsha lied to her. And so she feels like because they are so close, they are so bosom buddy, or at least they was changing PJ's Pampers together. They was going shopping. They was doing each other's nails. And because of those things, she feels like she deserved to know the truth about whether or not Porsha had done anything with Bolo. And then she says that Porsha lied to her face and told her that nothing happened. And in my mind, with the way that Marlo is going off about this girl lying to her, you would have think that she lied and stole her house. You would have think that she lied and stole Marlo's boyfriend. No, she lied to you because she don't trust that you would be able to keep a secret about her personal, intimate business, okay? And clearly, you are proving her right in this very moment. Now, I like me some Marlo. I do. Y'all know I've been preaching it all along. I want Marlo to get a peach. Give Marlo a peach. Give her a peach. But at the end of the day, Marlo, nobody would trust you with a can of rice, okay? I wouldn't trust you with a secret because at the end of the day, what we now know is that the moment that you get mad at somebody, you are going to spill all of that tea on national television in any which way that you want to. Matter of fact, you're not even going to just spill their tea. You're going to take everybody else down with you, okay? You're going to take everybody down because now she is telling Porsha that the girl that you are now so close to, now you and Kandi is bosom buddies and not me no more. Now the girl that you are trying to suck up to is the one who spilled the beans to me on the bus that you was in the room with Bolo, and now we all know. And now I have said all of your business on national television, and now what you gonna do? And Porsha just sitting over there rocking back and forth, looking like, girl, I don't know what your problem is with me. I don't know what your problem is with me. That's a lie too, okay? You know what the problem is, Porsha. I don't know why you just don't say it. Let's just go ahead and everybody call a thing a thing. At this point in time, just say, Marlo, girl, I don't trust you. I don't trust you more. I can't trust you at all, girl. I seen you flip-flop, and I've seen how you move with these girls. At one point in time, you was cool with Nene. Then you flipped on over, became cool with Kenya. Then the moment you got back with Nene, you became not cool with Kenya because Kenya ain't invite you to a party because at that point in time, Kenya didn't trust you either, okay? So now, all of a sudden, you then flipped on Porsha and jumped on over to the Kenya side. And now the thing about it is, here's the gotcha. I don't think Porsha mad at Marlo because she feel like Marlo flip-flop and now is friends with Kenya, because as we now know, Shamia and Kenya are cool too. So at the end of the day, I feel like it's this. The girl just don't trust you, Marlo. She don't trust you. Why would she? Because you are her friend, does not give you, let me tell you something. A woman does not have to disclose any of her intimate relations or business that she does with another consenting adult in any way, shape, or form. You can try to paint her into telling you. You can try to force her into telling you. But if she don't want to tell you, she don't have to. And you as a friend do not have a right to anybody's personal, intimate relations with anybody. Okay? So Marlo, cut it out. Cut it out. You acting like this girl stole something from you. At the end of the day, I don't believe it. But I also know, Porsha, you ain't being truthful either, okay? I'm going to need you to stop trying to play it cool as a cucumber, okay? And just go ahead and give us the real. We know what the real is. We who watching the show, we got eyes. We ain't stupid. We know. We know. JD gives us a super chat, says Marlo uses all the peach holders for clout, point blank period. She acts like Porsha owed her info, but we still don't have the history on her. Okay. Bloop. You know, at the end of the day, there is so much that I do feel like Marlo keeps close to the vest. And, you know, a lot of those questions would always stem from, girl, how did you get your money? Okay. Now, at the end of the day, you don't have to tell people how you get your money. Although if you flaunt your fashions and your styles in front of people, it's going to definitely make people curious. But at the end of the day, that's your personal business. So as everybody has to respect that, why don't you respect somebody else's personal business as well? It don't make no sense to me, right? She don't owe you that. And I'm talking real life stuff here, okay? In real life, you don't owe nobody nothing in terms of who you sleeping with. So people can ask questions, they can speculate, they can do what they want to do. But at the end of the day, that's your business. Anyway, I feel like Marlo made that situation about Kenya, in that she's saying also too that, oh, I was in the middle of Kenya and Porsha. No, girl, you put yourself there. You put yourself there. And now every time I see an interview, it's something different. Well, now you're mad at Porsha because Porsha lied to you. At first, you was upset with Porsha because you felt like she wasn't talking to you. But now it's because you say she bold-faced lied to you. You ain't never stopped to ask yourself why she felt like she couldn't trust you? Ain't it obvious? Anyway, that's my review for the Real Housewives of Atlanta reunion part 2. I want to thank you guys so much for sticking around and rocking with me as I go through it. I got to go, and I'm going to come back in about 30, 40 minutes, and we're going to talk about Married to Medicine. Lots to talk about there. Some new information on Lisa Nicole. We got some information on Darren Norgles. Okay. Thank you so much, Tara Evans, for the super chat. That's right, Richie. Make it make sense. Didn't make no sense at all to me, Tara. Didn't make no sense, man. So yeah, we're gonna get into that in just about 30 to 40 minutes. Hopefully, you guys can make it back. And then we'll probably discuss Kandi Speak on it tomorrow. I like to dive into those things, and I want to have some time to sit with it and process it and make my notes. And then, when we come back and talk about it tomorrow, we come at it with some fresh eyes and whatnot. Please make no mistake. I definitely, sometimes I get real passionate, but I love Marlo. I love Marlo. I am a Marlo fan. Marlo to me is everything. But, we got to call out the actions like we see it. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, I just wanted to say that just so, people understand. It's not I'm not on I don't like Marlo train. I just didn't like that she did that. You know what I'm saying? With that being said, y'all know I love y'all. Thank you so much for being here, and I will catch you guys in the next video.